Stream now for free.
Good morning. Hello?
Stream now for free.
Good morning. Hello? Daniel? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Biden doesn't even know the difference between jobs and death. Okay, hey, you stay out.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
Fancy you.
well, I got dressed up. Yeah, I'll put my fancy background on.
I see that. Cool.
Oh no, here's my fancy background. Let's see, where is it here? Oh, yeah, here we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
So I can take people offline. I can help them get into Zoom, whatever.
Good. That's good. I can't seem to find where the meeting room is. It's usually in a panel on the right side here, but I can't.
Participants.
Yeah, I got that, but it used to open up in a panel, I think, on the
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you can get that. You can get that. The panel is there's a little box up here. It says
I
enter
got
full
it now.
screen.
I got it.
Okay,
I didn't see the invite before because I was full
Okay.
screen. So
all right.
how you been doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hanging in there, staying
Yeah.
busy, doing stuff. Oh yeah.
Well, we just got back we got back to the villages March 23rd.
Oh my.
And because we were on a cruise. We were on a cruise and from Australia to Hawaii.
Oh wow.
So
You know, Bob and Judy got stranded in north west of Australia. I don't remember what island, or maybe it was on the northwest corner of Australia.
yeah, well, we hit New Caledonia and we hit Fiji, made 3 stops at Fiji and New Caledonia, and American Samoa let us fuel up. And then they took us to Hawaii, and it was like a movie Con Air. You know, they had sheriff's cars in front of the bus and back of the bus while they took us off the boat and took us directly to the airport. You couldn't get off the bus. It was
Wow.
all right.
I know they haven't got their luggage back yet.
Oh, yeah. We had no trouble. We were on Norwegian. They took great care of us.
Uh-huh.
Great care. I want to go again next year.
Cool. Let me see. Very good.
I guess there were nobody who wants help. Okay.
No, kind of surprised. We'll see. We'll wait around for a little bit and see what happens. Had it's interesting. I'm looking at what's how this is coming out on YouTube, and the speaker right now, I'm on YouTube because I was speaking, and then when you speak, then you get onto YouTube. So
Right. It's it's a speaker view. You can change that in the upper right-hand corner.
yeah, it doesn't show. Well, let me try that. Gallery view. Now it's got 2. We'll see if it takes about 7 seconds for it to 7 seconds for it to change. There, okay, so it's gone. It's actually side by side, even though mine's stacked here on my computer. That's cool. I had a meeting yesterday with some vets that I was with in the service, and we had 6 of us on Skype. And Skype only allows 4 boxes, 4 corners, you know, for videos, at least on my screen. But so anybody else that came in, they were in a little bubble.
Okay,
And you could go into a speaker mode where everybody was in a bubble, and then whoever spoke went to the main screen.
well, I don't need any Apple help, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
But everything's going well, you know, it's kind of funny because we're pretty isolated.
Yeah.
And not doing anything. I don't even golf. So
Oh.
I'm thinking, why live in the villages?
Well, I mean, that's a big thing to golf, and for me, it was a computer club was one of the bigger things. I just started golfing a few years ago,
Uh,
so but it helps me stay active and stuff. So
right. Well, see, the thing is, I have stock clubs that I belong. So now they've fired up, and there's 4 meetings a week of various stock things that I do on Zoom. So
Oh.
that's pretty good. So I can do that from anywhere.
yeah, I agree. And then some of the work that I do, I mean, I've got a couple of websites, one pretty big one that I'm working on now, and that is something that I could do from pretty much any place.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how that works out.
Well, the problem is with the villages is that they have so many rental people coming in. So as long as they allow people to come in from New York and rent down here for a week or 2 or a month, that's going to be a real disadvantage going to do anything at the rec centers.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
It's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, just I just keep going. With my work and stuff like that, and I help out with video um, uh, in Bellevue with his stuff, and we're looking at doing some video work for a church nearby here, and
Good.
so there's quite a few things that we keep us
Great.
busy
Well, obviously nobody needs Apple help.
so far.
Well,
I'm kind of surprised. Um, that Bob and Judy, I think, came in late last time. So
uh-huh.
I'll just hang around here and see what happens.
I can leave it up. I just need to leave the meeting at about 9:30 because I'm really big into the stock market now. So I'm just like 10 times a day I have to look at the market.
I have two cousins. One that's all he does is he's a he's a day trader, and
Uh-huh.
you got to be in at 100% or not.
Yeah.
Because you got to be watching stuff too close and stuff. I finally got got into something that I just decided that I don't have to look.
Uh-huh.
I get
Oh, yeah.
dividends. I get dividends every month. They
Yeah.
keep getting more.
Yeah.
And now
Good.
that the price is down because the dividends are based on the number of shares that we have. We get 6.5 cents per share. And if the price is down, that means we get to buy more shares,
Right.
when they get reinvested.
Well, that's a good thing. You know, what I did is actually when I got back, when I was gone, we were gone from February 14th to March 23rd, or actually February 10th to March 23rd, out on the ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
And when I got back, I didn't own anything. I had divested everything. So we were really lucky because we got out of everything
Yeah.
in February. When I came back, what I said is I'm going to start buying stocks that are biomedical. So biotech, anything that had a COVID-19 vaccine possibility, I bought it. And they zoomed up. I mean, I have one stock that I think is down 30% over the past 2 days. But that's okay, because it was up 120% before that.
Right.
And I don't know very much of it, so I didn't go, ooh, but when you're up 120%, you got to say, okay, it's a volatile stock. It may go down.
It'll work.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens when it opens this morning. I may buy more.
You should get with with Don, he comes in to the meeting and he's a, futures trader, I think.
Right, he does options. He's like,
Optimistic, yeah.
that's really tough. That's tough. Oh, that's really tough. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm here. You can have people call me. I'll give you my phone number and
Okay.
so I can get them on if they
All right.
can't do, because I have some experience because I'm one of the stock clubs I belong to basically had people that weren't very computer illiterate. So I got them all onto Zoom so we could have our meetings on Zoom.
Yeah, I've got a couple, I got to see one lady tomorrow who has, she's wanted me to keep my distance.
Uh-huh.
For my safety, I don't think that she has any problems. She hasn't been out of the house, but I can't, I sent her a link to Talkie, that, so I could just get her, I figured I could talk her through getting online so I could get her hooked up with Skype. So
Uh-huh.
it's been a problem, but I'm going to see her tomorrow and
Yeah.
get it fixed up. It's kind of a problem.
Uh-huh. Yeah, some people don't have extra cell phones or anything,
Yeah.
you know?
And I have, when she's trying to describe something on the screen, she doesn't know what to look for. And
Right.
she's not a computer person for sure.
But so I was thinking that I have an extra cell phone I could hand to people so they could actually take a picture of the screen and send it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if they could do that.
I've had people do that. And some people have, she has an iPhone, but I don't know as if she can get her to do FaceTime.
Right.
I did get her to do FaceTime, but I can't get her to turn the camera around. She can't see the button.
Okay.
This camera, so I can see her screen.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, well, it's hard, especially with people that have limited vision or.
yeah.
No.
She's 90, so she has an excuse.
Yeah.
And she
Oh, well.
only got a computer maybe 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't know how to use a mouse. She didn't know what a mouse was.
Yeah. It's hard, but oh well. We're doing well. My wife is good. My dog is good. My
Good.
kids are good. My kids are up north.
Yeah, ours
I
are.
got my daughter had snow flurries in Newburyport, Massachusetts, which is under a mile from the ocean 2 days ago.
Wow.
I got this video of snow flurries.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah, really. Yep, it's I don't miss it.
No. Well, I miss the ocean. For the past 25 years before I moved here full time, we lived near the ocean. I was 75 yards away from the ocean on the north and 200 yards away from the ocean in the south for one location. Another place, I was close enough to the ocean. I was under a 1/10 of a mile. So I canceled my homeowner's insurance.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah, because I was so close. I was in a house that was 200 years old, pretty close to 200 years old, and 180 years old. And it had been there for 180 years. Now, I don't understand why they would cancel my insurance, but they did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't understand sometimes.
Right.
I don't.
It turns out they found out the reasons. They investigated it. And the data that they used to cancel the insurance was on the Pacific coast, and they were looking at tsunamis. They were saying, oh, the Atlantic Ocean has the same characteristics as the Pacific Ocean, so we have to look at tsunamis. And of course, the Atlantic Ocean just doesn't have them.
No.
Certainly not on this side of the world.
No.
But, oh well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can have breakfast.
Okay,
and I'll hang around.
okay, we'll be here. Let you know what goes on.
Okay.
Whoops. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dan went to get some breakfast or something. He's gonna probably leave. He's doing day trading, so he's gonna leave at
Oh,
9:30. Get your luggage yet?
no.
It's out in the middle of the ocean now.
Oh.
Because they had to leave the Manila Bay because of a typhoon.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah,
There's
there's
I
Dan.
came back.
there he is.
We moved to
Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
He was on a cruise too. When did you get back, Dan?
March 23rd.
From where?
Well, originally Sydney, but we left Sydney and went to New Caledonia and Fiji, and then they wouldn't let us in anywhere else, so we went to Hawaii, and they shipped us out of Hawaii.
Well, that was nice. We
Yeah,
got left
good.
off. We got left off in Perth.
Oh, okay. That might have been okay too.
No,
No.
that was a long flight home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we flew into Sydney on the way out. But yeah. So Norwegian, I was on Norwegian and they were great. They couldn't have been better.
Good.
23 days at sea, and they refunded all our money and gave us a credit, 150% credit or full refund, whatever we wanted. And we had entertainment all the way.
Good.
So, but I guess there's nobody needing help.
Not so
Well,
far.
Either that or they can't get on their computers.
That's the other problem.
They have a little touch up my appearance button on the video.
Really?
Wonder what that does.
Oh, that like takes the wrinkles out, makes you look like 20 years younger.
yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe. Enable HD. Well, that's okay. And I'll touch up my appearance. Doesn't seem to do anything. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, there's a little advanced thing. Let's see what that is. Oh, okay.
What'd you find?
Well, they just say, oh, it says use dual monitors. There's all sorts of little things. Who knows?
Yeah.
What is it? What does it offer with the dual monitor?
Let's see.
Where was that? Where was that?
I'm looking again. General. The general shows participant videos and screen shared content on separate screens.
Oh, I'm not hooked up to my other computer's hooked up to my other screen.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to try that.
I mean, it looks all right. I don't know.
Probably use it for screen sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can still be on and show your screen. There we go. I thought we'd be in the same place.
Okay. That's good.
I come and go.
Yeah, you're in the ghost area.
I'm ghosting here.
All right.
The Twilight.
Well, I prepared a special background for this meeting.
Ah,
Well,
Apple help here.
But oh well, then I can show you what it really looks like in back.
ah. Well, the doors look familiar.
Yeah. So my wife is happy with that background.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So the market is about ready to open.
okay.
Yes, it is. 6 more minutes.
What? Oh, you got that clear on your head?
Look,
Oh, I see it, yeah. So one of the little dots.
that's because I'm usually sitting over here. You're over the other place.
I can move
No,
over.
that's all right. Okay.
Which one you gonna use now? You get some of the other ones are there, aren't they now?
Yeah, yeah. Well, just mine. These are all mine.
What's the one with the light?
Where?
Over one.
Oh, that's one of. Oh, I see. I see.
That's not yours.
No, okay. Okay. They added some since last time I used it. This is an Aurora. Huh?
There you go. There's a phone call. I can't get in.
Hello. Hi, how are you? You sure?
Here goes Dan.
Why would you think that? Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I feel comfortable because I've actually got 2 other people to see tomorrow, but I wear a mask.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Go to Tanzania and see if you labeled that straight.
When did you start coughing?
Oh, good.
You're all, that's not something that just. Okay.
It's 2 years ago.
Mhm. Oh,
No. No.
uh-huh.
That was 2 years ago.
That was 3 years. What?
Uh-huh.
I mean, 18.
Yeah,
That's 2 years ago.
that's where you just worked, right?
Oh, that was 19? Oh, I thought it was 18. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the one. Come on. think I would because we're in
What's the island over there?
Kangaroo,
Okay, what's Jasmine, that one there?
but I wouldn't have the strait because we're in the hurricane.
All right.
I'm back.
Hello,
Hey,
Bass Strait.
Mhm.
Yep.
Look at Jeff. And the other one's Rarotonga.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, Seaman.
Oh, hi, Carol.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
That's because you let him in.
You're muted.
Have we had any customers?
No,
No,
Shoot,
Sorry about that.
okay.
A lady's, she's 90 years old and she's not, one of her nephews got her a Mac a couple years ago and she didn't know how to use a mouse. I mean, she didn't know what a mouse was.
Wow.
So she's doing pretty good. It's just she's confined like everybody else is, and she's concerned about me and her. You know, I said, well, if you haven't been out and I haven't been out, I think you're and we wear masks and stuff like that. We should be fine. I think. You know, so I don't have a problem with it. So I got to get her to where I can at least share her screen, or she can use Skype or do something so she can contact her relatives up north. You know.
There was a time not that long ago, say a year, that I had a clue how to screen share, like invite somebody to let me in so I can help them. How do we do that?
Well, you know, originally with the iChat, you could send you could through the messaging share their screen. Now that's available in messages. It's not quite as easy, but in messages, as long as you both have Apple computers, you can go if you do a text with them at the top next to the name, it says details. And you click on that, and then you'll see you share. There's the two double boxes, and you click on that, and it's either here we have something. We got somebody coming in.
Okay, at least I know what rock to look under. Yeah.
Right. You could share your screen or ask to share their screen. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jim. I have one question.
Sure.
Actually, I'm going to do a presentation on Zoom.
Oh,
Can you hear anything in my background? I'll close the door. Okay. How do I get to my desktop from here?
Okay, you don't see the menu bar?
The menu bar is, menu bar for which one? The Zoom menu?
The computer. Actually, a quick way to get to your desktop is do Command H.
Command H?
Yeah,
Will
it'll
I, will
actually
I,
hide it. It'll hide it and you can see your desktop and then you can do Command H and get it back again.
okay, let me just try it. Can I try it?
Sure.
Uh,
Now, if the Command H didn't bring it back again, do Command Tab and select
command what?
Tab, T-A-B.
Where is the tab? Oh yeah, command tab.
And then just pick Zoom out of that list and you should get it back.
It says download and run Zoom. Wait a minute.
Command Tab, you want to look for the Zoom blue camera with the white camera icon.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so let me try this again. I hope I'm not boring anyone.
Oh, it's fine.
And this works with every application. Command H will hide that application. So there are times that instead of quitting an application, you just hide it and go do whatever you want, and then you come back to that application. And it's a little quicker because it doesn't have to restart anything.
Oh,
And then Command Tab will allow you to pick whatever application is running.
okay, could I try one more thing and then I'll be off? Okay,
That's what we're here for. We're here to help.
okay, so I'm going to Command H. I want to get to my desktop. It's not working.
Well, when you did the Command H, it hid Zoom, right?
It what?
Did it hide Zoom?
Yeah, should I go to Zoom again?
Well, okay, if you want to get to your desktop,
Yeah.
what's on your screen now?
It just says your meeting should start in a few seconds. If Zoom does not run in a moment, download and run Zoom.
Okay, well, you could probably quit that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Do you see the screen where it's got back to meeting, schedule, join, and
The only screen I see, it says I have a tab, launch meeting Zoom, need face-to-face help.
I think she might be in the browser.
yeah, that's what I think what does it say next to the Apple menu? Say Safari?
Safari, right.
You can just quit that or you can hide that also.
So let me quit Safari. Okay, I go to my desktop. I'm in my desktop. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, and I want to just see if I can put this PowerPoint up. So what should I do now?
Go ahead and start your PowerPoint.
Can you see it?
No, what you need to do now is go back to, you do Command Tab to get back into Zoom.
Command tab, yeah.
And down at the bottom, you'll see a green, if you move the cursor around, you'll see a green button that says Share Screen.
I don't see it. Command tab. What I'm seeing here with Command tab is,
Not Command Tab. Did you get back to Zoom?
I'm not back in Zoom, no.
Or do the Command Tab and select Zoom.
Okay. Okay, I did.
Okay, so you're back in Zoom.
I can't get back into Zoom.
When you do the Command Tab, you should see all, and continue to hold the Command down. You should see all the applications that are open, their icons,
Okay, I just hit Zoom,
okay?
but Command Tab, I hit Zoom and I can't get back in.
There,
My mail is open. Would that make a difference?
no. Try, do Command Tab again and make sure that Zoom is next to the apple when you, after you select it.
Zoom is next to the, okay, I'm here.
You see the apple?
Where is Zoom is next, the apple is here, right?
Then, and you're not seeing our pictures?
I see your picture, but my presentation is behind it.
That's correct. Okay, so now when you see the pictures at the bottom of this screen, you'll see there's a green button that says share screen.
Okay,
You click on that and you should see a number of open windows that are on your computer, including your presentation.
okay. So would I just hit, now I see you, it says desktop 1, and here's my PowerPoint.
Okay.
Should I hit share?
Yes, click on share. Okay, now we can see your presentation. You can close this, the window that you're seeing right there. Just click on the red dot. Keep
Which-
going to the left. The one right in the middle. See where it says desktop, the blue?
Desktop,
It's covering the presentation.
so I have,
You see where, you go down a little bit. No, go down. It's right in front of your presentation.
I see the mute button.
Do you see? Am I moving this? Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Oh,
That was my computer. Okay, so there you go. We see your full screen. Go ahead and start your presentation.
Slideshow, play from start.
Yep, we see your GED match and DNA comparison. We see everything full screen. You are in the upper right-hand corner as the presenter.
Okay. Okay. All right. So when I do this now to get back to my audience later, I will hit Command H or Command Tab.
I would, if you're like in the middle of this presentation and you want to go and talk to somebody, do Command Tab,
Mhm.
select Zoom. Go ahead and try it now. Command Tab and select Zoom.
Oh, okay, boy, that's quick. Zoom, yeah. I just hit Zoom.
Okay, then, okay.
She's already in Zoom because she's sharing her screen.
yep.
Right, but she's got to stop sharing the screen in Zoom.
Right.
Hit the
That's
share screen
the
button
top
again.
of the window. At the top,
Oh, yeah, at the top of the window, do you see?
should say stop sharing. I don't see it, but
It's down the bottom, it's in red.
okay. Stop sharing.
There you go.
Okay, good. So I will probably next week, if you're going to be doing this, I'll try it again. Is that okay?
Yeah, we won't be doing it next week. But if you want, we can practice. Just give me a buzz.
Okay, good. All right. And that other issue I solved, it was just how to viewing something. So,
Okay, great.
oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You did good. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Diane,
Yeah?
this is Carol Fortledge. I tried to help you through the Apple user group and I wasn't able, but I'm glad to see who you are and meet you face to face. Do you still have questions that were left over from that?
Yeah, it was just that, Jim had worked on my computer and I guess it was easier for him to view something a certain way. And then I put it out to the Facebook Mac group and they said, oh, it's just your viewing option. It was a simple thing, which I didn't know. You know how
Oh,
I remember
you-
when I was a young girl, my father said, don't touch the radio station, don't turn it. It was like you get used to something.
Okay, so you've got your stuff answered. That's great.
All right, thanks a lot. So I'm going to leave.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Watch
Bye-bye.
your hands.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
one down.
So when her presentation was showing.
Yeah.
Since I'm using my iPad as a second screen.
Yeah.
The presentation showed up on the iPad and everybody else showed up on my primary screen in a line over to the right.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I've seen that before because I have done when two monitor presentations, and when they start showing, they will pop up on a separate little, like a column of pictures. Yeah, Zoom is it needed to get past some of the security things that have been going on with it, and I think they have. Greg has been kind of leery of using it, and I was kind of surprised he came in. But I do like the fact that you can actually call in to call in a voice call.
right.
That's pretty cool, and you don't have to have an account.
Right. You can also just call in with your dumb phone or your landline,
Right, that's what I
voice
mean.
only, which is great.
Have you all tested breakout rooms?
No, that's an option I don't have on here. I mean, it's a paid for deal, right?
I guess I have it and I've been testing it and it's pretty cool, especially if we did get several people. It would be an easier way than talking to shunt them off to the side. If you
Go ahead.
want to see it, make me a co-host and I'll show you.
How do I make you a call?
I think you look at the participants list
More.
and you click my name,
Make host.
make co-host, not host. You're the host.
Allow recording. I don't have that choice. I've got.
Oh, okay. And that's probably the paid versus not paid.
Well, I'm paying for this, but I'm not paying for the services that you have.
I thought co-host was a pretty easy one, but I guess it's not.
It actually says co-host. This just says host.
What says co-host?
No, you said yours says co-host. Mine just
Well,
says,
not now, but if I clicked on a name while I'm the host, I am able to make that person a co-host.
oh, that's probably because you're paying more up than I have. I just have the basic 124-hour meeting plan.
It's a very easy to use feature. So if you had it, you could establish a breakout room and assign two people to it, the helper and the helpee.
Yeah.
And then when they're done, it's real easy for them to leave that room and come back into the main.
I need a sponsor.
We also need people to help.
Yes,
Yeah, we need customers
People
too.
to help.
we're batting 1,000 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should announce that. Everybody that came got help.
That's right.
Dan, nice background.
Oh, thank you. I took that picture in Sydney. I was actually in the ship, and that was the view about our balcony.
Wow.
Wow.
There's some well-traveled people on this call.
Yeah, yeah. We got back even. Well, we were in Sydney February 13th and got back to the villages March 23rd after being turned away at various ports on the ship.
Oh. Do you have your luggage?
Oh, yeah, we have everything.
Good
No,
I
for,
think
we-
you're
it was
luckier
great.
than some people.
good for you. Yeah. Our luggage is still on the ship.
It was, well, I understand. When we got off the ship in Hawaii, it was like we were Con Air. There was a police cruiser in front of the bus, a police cruiser after the bus. Every single corner we came to, there were two police cruisers blocking the roads so we could only go to the airport.
Wow.
I mean, it was incredible. But hey, they took us to the plane.
Did you have any people on there that had contracted the virus?
No one was sick. We
Wow.
were at sea 12 days without touching land and no one was sick. So we were just fine.
Only 12.
So, you know, it was we were on the boat, the trip was 23 days. We were on the boat, but we hadn't touched land in 12 days. So
Wow. Oops. I'm gonna go put something outside. Hold on.
Do you guys get the iPhone Life messages? They send tips every day. iPhone Life.
No,
No.
I turned that off, but yes, I could.
Yeah. They had a free class in how to use Zoom and other things about staying connected. And it was a 4-session class, free. So even now you can register for it, I believe, and view it as a film. You know, you're not live anymore. But for some people that might want to learn how to use Zoom, it could be useful. Maybe not you guys, but you know, people who ask you about it.
What are you doing?
I was saying iPhone Life sends tips every day. Not that I read them every day. And they had a class that you could sign up for that they made free in light of coronavirus. And
Wow.
it was a 4-session class, and each session on a, I don't know, say a Wednesday, had a Thursday discussion. So you really got to delve into Zoom, but it's available to view as a video at their site.
Cool.
You don't need it, but maybe some people who ask you about how could they learn to use Zoom could look at it.
It's on Zoom site itself?
No, it's on iPhone Life.
iPhone Live, okay.
I started that when I had only used Zoom maybe one time, if that. And so for me, it was very helpful. Now I've used it about 12 times or more, so I'm okay.
great.
Bob and Judy, have you ever tried being on in the same house with 2 connections?
No,
No,
We tried it here, and as long as you don't sit too near one another, you can do it.
yeah.
It's
With Zoom?
you know, each one is a separate registrant.
Yeah, if one was in one room and
Two
somebody
different
was
accounts, right? Because you can't be on the same account. I've tried that. I had to make a separate account.
Right. But I was the host and Russell went so that we didn't get speaker feedback. And we split the AirPods. He uses one and I use one. And if we're on the same connection, it only works if you're on the same one though.
I had somebody, one of my customers, she says, can you help me get my Bluetooth earpods connected to my phone? I go, does it come with instructions? No. She said $10. I said, where did you get these $10 ones? Dollar General.
in.
No, it didn't come with instructions. So I kind of have to see them to see what's on there. You got to push something and wait for something, I'm sure.
I hoped that would be good. And I tried it and they were horrible. Not only bad talk, you know, bad sound, but too large. They were painful.
Oh, that's kind of a problem. I wear hearing aids, not right now, but frequently, and that becomes a problem.
Mhm.
But the VA is not going to pop. Well, I take that back. I know the VA can pop for the Bluetooth ones that work with your phone. So I just have to figure out what the right complaint is.
Yes.
You know, every time I do this, it's feeding back or something. I don't. It never does, but I don't.
Maybe you need your phone to be able to talk to your doctor. That might be the right complaint. Or you need your phone to be able to call for emergency services. That might be the right complaint.
Yeah, yeah. Which I've done, so it's,
Right. I mean, that's, you can't say, well, I can't talk to my kids on my phone, but some need.
well, it's just that, you can't, when you get the hearing aid, some people can't hear. I think there's an option in here for listening with hearing aids, not through them, but
Hello?
with them, so that it won't do some kind of feedback or something.
My
But
mom has them, those hearing aids, and works through the phone. So she sits at a party with the phone in her lap and looks like a teenager because she keeps that in front of her all the time so that she can adjust the volume.
Well, I will say the way that Zoom pumps up to either Facebook or YouTube is kind of a plus. I don't know if you've tried that, but it works pretty darn good, and it kind of takes. The first time I tried this, I was using software called OBS,
Mm-hmm.
Open Broadcast Software, I think it is, and it was kind of a little complicated. You had to have like 3 things going on here, and because on the OBS software because I was playing with it, I had my camera included as one of the objects on there. And then when I started up Skype or something else, that was also using the camera. But at some point when something happened, I couldn't restart the OBS software because the Zoom was using the camera. So I'd have to quit everything and start it back up again in the sequence. But it had its benefits for people doing podcasts and stuff like that, because you can actually have multiple computers. You can control screens. You can put lower thirds on here. You can put little bugs, logos and stuff, different places, picture in picture. The YouTube one that they showed actually,
No bugs.
huh?
No bugs.
No bugs. You could actually put the text chat alongside the video part, which would be like from here, and then they have a text chat over here. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And considering it's all open source stuff for free, I mean, it really does a great job. There's a lot
I
of
resisted it for a while also, but it's hard to move away from it when once you've used it a couple times, because it's better than any of the rest.
Yeah, I have. I help out with Video Vault Productions in Bellevue, and we're looking at. Well, this all started with back in April when I help out with Combat Veterans to Careers quite a bit, and they had an event on April 13th that didn't happen because nothing happened. So a few weeks before, the board, I met with the board and asked and said, well, we could have a virtual meeting. I mean, this could be virtual. It's called a reverse raffle, so they had to pick 300 tickets out in order and get down to the last 10 people. But they chose not to do that, and now it might have been a better thing to do virtually, because they could do it again in the fall, but now that they just pushed it off to August, and we're still going to do the virtual thing also, because not everybody's going to be here. There's 300 people who bought tickets, so they all have to be involved somehow. And the reverse raffle 300 tickets, $100 each, and you can win $10,000. And when it gets down to 10 people, if they all share, they all have to agree to share, they all go home with $1,000. That doesn't happen. There's always somebody who says, I'm not sharing. So then they got to pull another one. They just keep pulling them until they're done. It's pretty cool thing. And it's a good money maker because right now the Combat Vets doesn't have any, they have a thrift store, but they don't have any events that's pulling in any money for them. They have a Battle Buddy golf tournament that's usually in September that they're most likely going to cancel because they have it at Bonifay. They take the whole place over, and they've doubled the price of the golf course. And it's, unless we can find a sponsor, a big sponsor to deal with that, it's just going to get canceled. It's just unfortunate.
I can't imagine what kind of inflation we're going to face in the near future for all these extra costs that everyone is incurring. Regarding Zoom and licensing, I would say that trying to go through in your mind who you're affiliated with and seeing if they have a license they can share is a good idea. I have my license because the school board that I'm on has a big license and they can't use them all. They up to the features that they pay for to get something else. And so they have plenty of spare capacity for people to host and be listed. So when I sign on, I'm actually part of a different group. And then my pastor was hosting it for church and she's using someone else's license, which just suggests to me that it's allowed. You just have to figure out who it is that has capacity to let you be one of the people on their license.
I'll have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. It's, it's okay. This is okay for, small meetings that aren't very lengthy. Another organization, the people that I'm doing their website, they have a license because they can go farther than 40 minutes. I don't know how stringent they are on the 40 minutes. Is it exactly 40 minutes and they cut it off, or?
I've heard that it is. Although for families, then they just reconnect and start another 40-minute clock.
If it's only 2 or 3 people, it's not too bad. But if you got a whole bunch, then you got to get the invitation back out again. Well,
if you set the meeting as recurring, it just stays there and you can use it anytime.
okay. Oh, so it would keep the same ID and password. Okay. Because I didn't really like publishing the personal ID and password. I thought that was probably not the best idea, but obviously nobody's going to our websites.
Yeah, I started it too that way. But if you now make a new meeting and call it recurring, you'll get a separate number that you can publish, but it won't be your personal one.
Okay. All right. I will do that.
When I signed on with the User Group University, some guy named Tom Piper, and there were lots of people on talking about various ways to connect, but it ended up being mostly Zoom. They sent a little presentation or booklet, a 14-page thing they put together for people they know. I'll send it to you, Jim, so that, well, I'll send it to all of you and you can look at that and see if it gives you any hints about Zoom that you didn't know about.
Okay, great. That'd be great. I don't know what happened to Greg.
I beg pardon? Oh,
I'm just wondering
Greg?
what happened to Greg.
Did he forget that it was this Friday?
I pretty sure I sent him, he was on the list this morning, but He knew about it.
And if he was trying without success, he'd be in touch.
Yeah.
I have not ever shared screen because I've only been on real things. I think I'd like to find that little presentation book and show it to you. I might as well, since
Oh,
it's
sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure.
okay. First, I'm going to find it, then I'll do something about it. Let's see here. Finder. Documents. Get big. Okay, I've got it queued up. Now I have to go back to Zoom. Command Tab, as we said. And I'll share my screen. Desktop, share. I have to get this out of the way. There it is. Now, in my case, I have to get the participants off. Okay, do you see that thing, Zoom home screens?
Yes.
Okay, and I have your pictures in front of it, so I have to do something about that.
Yeah, we don't see we only see the picture in the upper right-hand corner of what would normally be the speaker, but
Okay, I got it now. That was called video panel. I had a hide video panel. So
Okay.
the good thing about this one is it shows the views that people would see on all three systems, you know, iPhone, iPad, and iMac.
Sure.
And talking it through is one thing. And then you can tell it came from somebody in another country because of the way they spell.
Right.
And screen mirroring fits in some cases and sometimes not. I'm just really trying to show you the content. Here's recording and use of do not disturb.
Right.
And security with some links in it. And over here, I think can you see my arrow moving,
Yeah.
my cursor? Okay. The way to set the settings so you're protected is another piece in there. And this is in iOS 8 and 11. Sharing content, which I've not done it from a device. I'm still on a laptop because I choose my biggest screen.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool that they can do that.
Yep. And I think there's 12 pages, and it shows how to share photos. And then probably storing the recording.
Huh.
So, you know, for an early, there's more than 12 pages. An early helpful thing. Now, whiteboard, I don't know anything about, but some people might like to use that.
Yeah, I saw that when you go to screen share, there's an option there to have a whiteboard.
Yeah, and we have reactions. They're in different places on, you know, if you're on iOS versus OS, but you can clap or put a thumbs up on something anytime. Raising hands and taking polls are part of this as well.
Huh.
And, you know, I just think it's an easy way to catch up with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Is the waiting room is no longer an option, right? I mean, it's always on.
I think that you have a choice to turn it off. It's just that it's the default.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now stop share is what I'm going to do. Okay, now I've done it. Thank you.
Oh,
So I'll send you guys that document.
Good.
I'm really racking my brain for problems I've had because I've looked at my notes and thought, I got to call Apple. I don't want to call Apple and their unlimited hours, but I called them twice. I can't believe they solved everything, but
Really?
yeah.
I've had,
I d-
I had the computer that was here Wednesday. They picked it up yesterday. They had called Apple. Of course, it was is a 2010 iMac. And they did get them to reinstall the software, or to upgrade to High Sierra, but that it didn't solve their problem. And of course, I have the advantage because I can see it. And it was kind of weird because it would not. I mean, some of the clues it would start up in safe mode, wouldn't start up in regular mode. It would just start going across and would never finish. Even in safe mode, it would not. Time Machine would stall. It would just never. It would quit.
Oh.
It would just plain stop. And so I had actually installed, after a couple of other steps, cloning and stuff, I installed a fresh system on an external drive, had to pull all their data from that computer, from the computer drive into it, and just to see if it would work. And it would work, and Time Machine was happy and stuff. So at that point I said, okay, now I've got a clone and a working backup. I'm going to erase the internal drive, put a first system on it, and it starts just fine now. So, and because I said you could, for a couple $100 you could put a solid state drive in here and it would perk it up a bunch. But is it worth putting a couple $100 into an older computer? And I said, I've got to leave that up to you. I'm more than happy to do it, but I just, if it was mine, I'm not sure what I would do. But they said they were looking at getting a MacBook anyway. So I said, okay, when you get the MacBook, well, I've got the cables to hook the two together, and you just pull all the data over. But just make sure that you get one that's got at least a 500 gigabyte drive, because that's what you got, and you're close to 70% full, so you're probably going to get a terabyte drive. So.
What is?
Hi, Dan.
Hi, that was my daughter. She called me. She's had 10 minutes to spare between going to work and her kids. So she works for the Fish and Wildlife Service. So she was looking at piping plover nests on the coast of Maine. So she goes up and fences the nests.
What does that even mean? You
Well,
stick a
piping
spoke through it?
plovers are fish. I mean, are birds that are endangered. So she actually goes out on the beach and constructs a barrier around the nest. So that's part of her job. She's a wildlife biologist. So she just runs around.
And she could probably do that without a mask on, I'm guessing.
Right, she can, because she has to also negotiate with the beach owners to get access to the private beaches.
Oh,
She needs a mask for that, but with the birds, no problem.
Hmm. Okay, here's one of the things I need a better workaround than I have. When I download audiobooks from the library, the system it likes to use is Overdrive. Overdrive will not go 64-bit. So I have a backup drive I made on Carbon Copy Cloner, and it runs Mojave. But of course, it's my whole backup drive. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. I'd like to make a thumb drive that has Mojave and a browser and use that to get books. Can I do that?
Sure.
So how big of a drive do I need?
Well, I would say that it's got to be at least 16 to
Okay.
get room, but Probably 32 or so. But do
I
you
have
have,
a 32, but
how much empty space do you have on your internal drive?
not that much, maybe 12%. It's about 100 gigabytes of empty. So it must be 20%.
Because what I've done on mine, I've actually partitioned it. I've got a Mojave partition, and then I've got a Catalina partition. So I can go back and forth between them on the same computer. I have to restart, but I can still access the data that's on.
Hmm.
And I haven't, I think technically it's probably possible to set up Catalina, because Catalina has two partitions. It's going to have we're waving something there. What do you got?
I got a drive. You just hooks a USB drive.
Oh yeah, you can
Just
use
get a
that,
terabyte USB drive and boot the whole thing off it.
right?
Boot Mojave right off the drive.
That's what I do. It's just slow and annoying. I like it to be,
A thumb
quicker.
drive won't be any faster.
No,
You get an
I don't
SSD.
want faster. I just don't own a spare drive to dedicate to that. I want to use it for something else.
Okay.
just make sure you get a USB. Get one that's listed as a high-speed USB 3. Because some
Oh,
of them are not very quick.
okay.
But yeah, you could. But how big of a drive do you have? 1 terabyte, or
500 gigabytes,
can your computer? How old's your computer?
2017.
It's not upgradable.
It's hard for me to believe that that seems old, but I get it.
Well, this is the 2015 that I have Catalina on, and only Catalina, and then I've got a 2012 that has the partition with Catalina in. But I think it's technically feasible because Catalina has two partitions, the boot partition and the data partition. And I think, and I just haven't had time to actually try this, but I think that if you add a Mojave boot partition, that you might be able to use the data partition for Catalina as your home
Data?
your home directory. Because I mean, the stuff that's in there is going to only be your data, and the only thing you'd have to be concerned about would be that way you could share. You wouldn't have data in two places like I do here. My Catalina on this one is skinny down, but it's I just haven't had time.
I was pretty surprised. I thought that I would have to use the Mojave Drive and download the book to the cloud so that I could also access it when I went back to Catalina. And I learned from calling Apple, you guys I'm sure know this with ease, I leave the Mojave Drive attached and it's just an external drive. So when I'm rebooted in Catalina, it can find data on there, which I didn't know.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, this is complicated by the transition to iBooks books from iTunes. And they have a known issue, which is the covers don't come over. They don't show you it's like Album Art, except it's audiobooks. And it's not there unless you buy the book from them, which I don't do.
Are there plans on doing a 64-bit for older?
No. And I don't know if this is why, but here's what has been happening for years already. So you download the book through Overdrive, which will play the book for you. But if you instead transfer it to your device for iTunes or Now Books, the due date is gone. So you own the book. And it doesn't, I tend to go shopping in waves. I pick out 10 books and I have to order some and some come right away, but I'm not listening to them in the space of 3 weeks. So that works better for me. I'm not selling the books or doing anything beyond what they would expect other than taking longer to read them.
Well, Overdrive on an iPad, a current iPad, that would be 64-bit, isn't it? I mean, so I mean that's available on an iPad, right?
Yeah, but if you download to the iPad with that whole file structure, you can't find the book. It's the conversion to get it from the computer into iTunes or into books that causes the due date to fall away.
Huh.
Yeah, it's strange. And I've just been experimenting with sharing a folder.
My
Not
cat-
your dog?
Not ours. We don't have one.
There's my
Jim's
cat
That's
looking
my
under
dog.
the desk.
He's,
Oh, it's
he's the
Dan's.
doorbell.
doorbell. Huh?
Well, it's not the doorbell, it's really him barking. He's much louder than the doorbell.
So sharing a folder has been a challenge for me. I keep having trouble finding that add person. But eventually I found it a couple times. Has anybody else shared a folder with someone?
In iCloud,
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to do that with, because that's only Catalina, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
I haven't had the opportunity to do that. I mean, I do it with everything else. I do it with Dropbox and Google Drive and stuff like that. It's not exciting.
No, I'm just trying to get rid of Dropbox now that iCloud is supposedly as capable.
Well, I have a device, so a network device, network accessible storage from Synology,
Yeah.
and I have eight. So I've got two 4 terabyte drives in it, and they back up. So I've got storage. I can use it as a time machine backup. I can also use it as an external hard drive, network drive that I can access from outside. It comes with applications similar to Google Docs, where you got a spreadsheet and a presentation and stuff like that available. And it comes with a whole bunch of other things. For instance, it can connect to all of the cloud services. I'm not sure about iCloud, but Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, even FTP sites and stuff, and will back up those. So I've actually got most of my websites I back up to a Google Drive that was made specifically for that site. And then I have that Google account backed up to this drive. And it's here, it's closer, it's quicker for me to get it here, the files, if I need to get them off. But it's kind of a cool thing. It was not terribly expensive, but with my time capsule getting age wrinkles on it, and it's also full, and I've actually got a drive hanging off of it, and I've got a Mac Mini that's an Apple server with a drive hooked onto it. All of these are starting to get full. And then this one, I got it because of a customer. I wanted to see how that worked, and it works pretty cool. You can access it.
Synology.
Synology. Yeah. They're and they also have an app that will run on your Mac or your iPhone or iPad, and it's just like Dropbox. Where anything I put in that folder will go over to my device and onto my my other devices.
I just looked it up and I'm proud to report I spelled it right.
Yeah, SYN Synology, and I've got the DS218. It's shown right today at right at $300 without the,
Mm.
but I don't think I paid that.
They also have all sorts of apps for the iPhone. I mean, you can.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
you
There's
can
all,
see it,
right.
but I have it. Here's my iPhone up, my, you know,
You have calendars and contacts and all
yeah.
that stuff on there. It's pretty cool thing.
I've had one for maybe 3 years.
Yeah, I got it on sale a little bit for $277.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they have apps for the phone and everything.
Hmm.
It's kind of a cool thing.
So you saw that, Dan, that when you had a virtual background, we couldn't see your phone, but you
Right.
turned it off and we can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. It was taking my phone out of the green screen there, the screen. But yeah. So now you can see what it really looks like. Gonna close up and see the background. There we go.
Uh-huh. You're pretty well off with that nice closet door there. It's a plain background.
Ah, okay. Well, that's good.
And I have white kitchen cabinets, so it's semi-okay, but
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Well, you can see your counters so that if you have junk on the counters.
I've got an obstacle course in back of me.
So it's good. Well, I'm gonna go, I might buy a new Synology drive because
Yeah.
the one I have is a single bay and it's pretty full now.
Yeah, I got the two just because they mirror each other.
Yeah.
And I think I originally, because I had some extra drives here, I just put like a pair of 1 terabytes in just to experiment. But I think I wound up buying 2 4 terabyte NAS drives from West
Uh-huh.
Virginia, the red ones, I think, and they were pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Oh, it's reasonable now.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, here, I'm on Amazon looking at them now, and it's 10 terabytes in the red drives for $270.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cheap.
Yep.
Dan, do you maintain websites?
No. No. But I have so many computers that I maintain the computers.
Yeah, that's a full-time job.
It is. Well, you know, my wife has other things. We have more stuff in the house. It's amazing the amount of electronic stuff we have. I mean,
You know, stuff in our age group, I'll call us all baby boomers or whatever, close to that. I'm on the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I can't tell you how many people come in. They need to shed, they need more place for their stuff.
Yeah.
It's incredible how many people spend how much money to house their stuff.
well,
I'm talking about here in Ohio, you know, where people have yards and yard equipment
Mhm.
stuff.
oh, I understand. I understand. I mean, when my kids were home and I had my kids live with me, I had an 8-room house, a barn, and a chicken coop. So we had stuff. And the good thing about the barn is we threw stuff up in the hayloft. When it came time to sell the house, I had a dumpster put at the entrance to the hayloft and just threw stuff out. Worked out well.
Yeah, why can't we see the future like that and get rid of it in the first place?
Well, you know, some of the stuff my kids wanted, I guess. And they got it whether they wanted it or not.
The other thing I'm seeing is ridiculously useful stuff on the curb for rubbish day because nobody can donate anything. There's no pickup right now or donate.
Our thrift store's picking up.
Are they?
They started 2 weeks ago, 2 Mondays ago.
Ah,
Yeah, I gather it's starting again this week here. My sister works for Habitat and she said they're picking up.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
We're in Ohio. It's been horrible, horrible weather since I got back on May 3rd. And Russell just came out wearing shorts. It's like, oh, it's a miracle. AJ.
Hi, Mary Ann. Oh, she's connecting her audio.
Oh, that's Marianne. Okay.
Morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I don't know who you're talking to. This is Mary Ann Bullimore. Hi.
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 We got all the helpers here. What's going on?
For me, I have a lot of questions regarding photos. I've been scanning my photos, old photos. I have about 5,000 of them.
Yep.
I'm just curious to know, what is the difference between iPhoto events and putting them into my album? I see that I have so many in iPhoto events. I don't recall putting them in there. Do they go in there automatically?
Yeah, the events in iPhoto can be there's actually a preference, but I think they default to like a 1 week period.
Oh,
But you can actually have them set to be a 1 day period or even hourly, I think, or some maybe 8 hours or something like that. But yeah, it's something that they're just trying to help you, find your files based on the dates.
I see. So if I move them out of there, which I've been doing, that's not a problem. I've been moving them into my albums.
That's great. That's great.
Okay, so I should be okay with that. Also, I have a little, I don't know if you can see it, a scan disc.
Yes.
I wanted to move some pictures onto this,
Uh-huh.
but I can't seem to get them to move over. Is there a trick to that?
Well, what I would do personally is make an album are the pictures that you want to do. Then select the album, select all the pictures, and then go up to the file menu and export.
Okay,
And then export them, and you can, with that in your computer, you can export them right into that drive.
okay, so make up a file first.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
easier to organize them that way.
Okay. And one other question, if you have time.
We got plenty of time.
Oh, okay. Not a lot of people calling in.
No, you're number 2.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm glad I did. Oh, what was that other one? Oh, I have an album called Disney Cruises. Now, I don't have that many photos for Disney Cruises, but all of a sudden I have 688 photos in there and I don't know how they got in there. So I imagine if I just delete them, I'm not deleting them from everything completely, right? I can barely hear you.
Dan, you know how to do that?
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how they would get put in there.
Yeah.
Where were the photos taken?
They were taken with my iPhone and
Were they on Disney cruisers?
no,
Okay.
no, they're photos from many years. All of a sudden they ended up in that album all by themselves. I don't know what I did to cause it.
But
I don't know how to process that.
you can delete the photos that are not supposed to be in there. You can remove them from there just by hitting delete, and they will not delete from your library. They'll just
Okay.
delete from that album.
All right, that's what I was concerned about. And also, since I'm only the number 2 who called in and I don't want to,
Marianne, can
Yeah.
I say something first? I
Sure.
think those are getting there through their metadata. If those were digital photos rather than scanned in just now, maybe they have some tags on them that say Disney. I think if you do Command I on a particular picture and read the stuff that's there, you might get a clue as to why it happened.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Carol. I can look back on that. When I have photos on my external drive, I mean, everything, I back up everything on an external drive. How do I know that they're really on there? I mean, how do I know? I mean, it says it backed up, but how do I really know?
What do you use? Are you using Time Machine?
I did.
Yeah, I got a high confidence level with Time Machine.
So
If
you think,
if you're at all concerned, you can do one of two things. You can get a second drive to where it's alternating the backups, or you can alternate, or you can set up a like I have two drives that I use with my computers. One is a Time Machine backup, and the other is a carbon copy cloner, and that runs once a day, or as soon as the computer, when I connect it back up again, it'll run and clone the drive. That it doesn't have history to it, but it's a bootable duplicate of the drive. If I have a failure, I can be up within.
okay. I was
Have
going
you ever
to,
looked in your Time Machine? Have you ever looked at what's in there?
no, because I don't know how.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Be in Photos on your computer.
Mhm.
In other words, you're kind of telling the computer what you want to look at. And
Okay.
then you go to the top level where Time Machine is, that circle with the arrow,
Right?
say enter Time Machine,
Mhm.
and it will go to photos if they're being backed up. And you can look for a particular thing to find out if it's there.
Okay. I'll try that.
I think they might be named with those long number letter names.
Okay.
But when I'm using Photos, if I have given the photo a title, I can usually find it by its title. So title a few before you go do that.
Okay.
Or maybe you've titled them already.
I've
Have you?
titled a lot of them. Yes.
Yeah, so just enter Time Machine. That shows you like a stack of cards.
Yeah.
And so go back to a month ago or whenever you think is the right time to try to find a picture and see what's in there for photos.
I
If you
don't
can't find
remember.
anything that backs up your concern about whether they're really there, but if you see them, it's reassuring that, yep, they're really being backed up.
I don't remember ever seeing like my little time machine up above there. I don't remember ever, if I click on it right now, I could do that while I'm on with you, can I? Yeah.
Mhm.
It just says back up now, enter time machine with the,
That's it. Mhm.
oh, okay. I've never done that. So that's where I would go.
Yes.
Okay. And then maybe I can find something.
But that every once in a while, you do see that it's backing that up there.
I guess I never look. I hope
Well,
it
let's
is.
go to, click on that same menu, and you should see open Time Machine preferences
What do you want me to click on?
on the little Time Machine icon in the menu bar.
Yeah.
The bottom one should be open
Oh, open.
Time
Yeah.
Machine preferences. Click
Okay.
on that, and it should show you
Options.
the Time Machine backup and the last time that it backed up.
Okay, back up automatically. Last time it was back up was November 19th, 2019, that says, but I think I've done it. I know I've done it since then.
Well, what I would do right now is to go up to that same menu and say backup now.
Okay.
And the device is hooked up, your external drive is hooked up right now.
Yeah, no, it's not. So I'll have to do it when I get off.
Okay, I just, what kind of, are you on a MacBook or you're on a MacBook? Anytime that you plug the power in,
Mhm.
plug that external drive in.
Oh, okay.
Just let it back up, as often as it can.
Oh, okay. See, that's something else that I wondered about, if I should do that or not, or, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
It won't hurt.
What I find a whole lot easier is to plug the backup drive into the router, and then the automatic backup occurs without me ever thinking about it.
Well, you're not all routers can do it, and it's a different format, so you'd have to start over, just so you know, because it's a sparse bundle on an external drive, and not all routers support Time Machine.
Oh, okay. I don't really have a router right here anyway. It would be for my TV router.
No, it would be you have Comcast. You have a modem and router most likely.
I don't have a motor or router here. I mean,
Yeah, you do, because you're talking to us on the internet.
But, okay, so it's over there in the other room hooked up with my TV, right? See, I don't understand all that. Okay. I used to have one right here, but I don't anymore. All right, I understand what you're talking about.
Get in the habit of keeping it plugged into your computer as
All
much.
right. But it gets to a point where, like I said, I have 5,000 photos on there, which is nothing compared to what I read that some of you have. I thought that after a certain time, like on your external drive, that it starts deleting old things.
Well, let's say this. You have a picture that, let's say it's 2 years ago, and you started your backup and you had an old picture, and you had a document that you were writing a journal in every week. Okay, so the picture has not changed in 2 years.
Oh,
Just because it's old, it's not going to get deleted.
oh, okay.
But when you have this journal that there's a new version of it every week, and it's full, it'll delete the oldest version and leave you the almost 100 other versions there.
Okay.
So if you need to kind of look at how much space you have, how big the hard drive is to start with, and if it is getting full, it's going to start, knocking off the older ones. And it depends if you want to have those older ones available for the future. You might want to consider getting another drive and just putting that drive on storage.
Yeah, it's pretty big and I don't have that much. So it's, I don't know, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, something like that.
You might be able to have, 4 or 5 years worth of data on there. If not more.
Okay. I should be pretty good there. Does anybody else have a question? I don't want to take up.
No,
Is there anybody else? I'm the only one on here.
we're all trying to come up
My
with
God,
answers.
I'm so sorry other people haven't tuned in because this is great. I
Which is
was
glad you're on.
hesitating. Thank you. I was hesitating because I thought I didn't want to take up your time. So I wasn't tuning in.
You didn't
I'm
really
sure-
a good way of getting the message out to everybody. So we kind of expected it's not going to be a big, but
I think this is great. I will send a little, email out telling people that it was such a good experience like I did last time. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, all right, if I think of anything else, I'll tune back in. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and stay safe, okay?
wash your hands.
Oh, constantly. I used to do it before, actually. And I used to get so upset in line when you want to pay at a store, when people would be on your heels. I guess I'm a germ freak. So I just, I'm doing really well. Thank you. You guys too. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. You're doing good. Yeah, if you on the Carol for the external drives on a network, they actually use they're in a different format. It's called a sparse bundle, and the drive, the router or the network accessible box has to support Time Machine to be able to back up, and but it makes it into a sparse bundle where it's not the same files when it's plugged into the computer directly. So, I mean, yes, you could do that and then continue on going forward, use the
But you
external.
can't go back and forth between the two ways of connecting.
You can, but it takes forever because you got to take all those files, put them into a sparse bundle, or take all the files in the sparse bundle and take them out of the sparse bundle.
Do you mean
Okay.
each time you want to use it?
Well, if you're going back and forth, if you're going back and forth, it wouldn't be reasonable to do that. If you well, let me say this. If you did do that, they wouldn't be using the same backup. One's
Yeah,
gonna be,
I get that.
one's gonna be just,
My routers are Apple, so I didn't even know there was a issue.
a lot of, there aren't many routers that allow you to hang drives off of them. Apple does, and there aren't many that, if they do, that they've got to be able to support Time Machine. You know, they could be a network drive. They're Windows formatted, and you can put stuff on there. But because they're Windows formatted, they won't hold up for Time Machine. And Time Machine is very specific. You can't, even with Catalina, currently Time Machine has to use the HFS Plus instead of the new APFS.
Oh, yeah. APFS, is it? Yeah. Well, I don't know if all you guys are getting anything out of this, but I like being on here because I'm learning things from you without any customers.
Oh no, it's a good thing for to learn all sorts of stuff. I never stop learning. I hope.
Yeah.
I'm working on- I've got so many websites, it's hard for me to keep them all up to date and stuff like that. Well, there's a free plugin that you put on all of the sites, and then they've got one master, and it looks at them, and I can do all the updates all at once.
Wow.
Yeah.
FURRY, is that what you said? Furry?
Huh? Free.
Free. That wasn't the name of it. Okay.
Oh, it's called Main WP, MAIN WP, and it's free. I don't know exactly what they have a paid thing. I don't know what the paid thing gives you, but this is pretty good. I can update not only the themes, the plugins, but also WordPress itself. And the only thing that I should do is go look at the site to make sure there's no problems. But because most of my sites use the same theme and stuff, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be working. But then I've got a few new ones. I've got one that has got some really old junk in the plugins and stuff, and it's kind of a mess. And I'm trying to make it work. Adding a membership system with it. And they're going to have, right now they've got 10,000 members, so I'm trying to make that work. And then they're going to go forward trying to get more members. And they have the worst theme. Oh. And I only, they say, well, change it all. I go, don't have enough time. I said, let's get this membership thing done. Get where you can get your members coming in and paying for your membership, and then I'll nibble on the rest of this and get this straightened out. They had, I don't know who did the site originally, but they had maybe 5 plugins that did sliding things. You know,
Oh.
they had probably 4 plugins to various ways to display PDF files or documents and stuff. I've got a solution for all of that. We get rid of all of that junk, but then I've got to go through and find where each one of these is used and make the change to the new one. And they've got a lot of history stuff to deal with.
In spite of everything you can cross off, the to-do list never gets shorter. I don't understand it. Like a bottomless coffee pot.
I have a hard time finding time to manage my to-do list. Yeah, it's and then their main site got hit. I'm working on a test site. Their main site got hit, and their host locked up their account. Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. I think because it's a shared host, I don't think it was somebody that was actually on their site. I think it was in somebody else's shared on that in that same computer that got over their security between the domains, because there were files added on the root directory of the account, which is outside the realm of the website itself. So it was kind of screwy. And then of course their tech support, they got nothing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we have 48 to 72 hours, we'll get back to you. Still haven't heard a thing. So I was fortunate that I went in and dabbled enough to where I got it back up again. But there was a learning curve for them, that their host isn't as good as what they thought it was. Does anybody get the Mac Most?
Yeah.
The weekly videos and stuff. Yeah, some pretty good ones.
I'm gonna go take care of a couple things, so I'm gonna mute. But if I hear anybody come on or whatever, so I'll hear your conversation, I think, and then I'll come back when I am not doing distracting activities. So I think that means stop video and
Oh,
Well, I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah,
And
okay.
log off, but
We'll make some money on the market.
email me or call me. Do you have my phone number, Jim? I don't know if you do.
Let me jot it down here. Okay.
781-639-1714.
Okay.
So if anybody needs to get onto Zoom or something, I can help them out over the phone, or got a couple of different phone lines I can use.
Okay,
So I can
great.
talk to them on a landline and whatever. Okay,
Okay, thanks.
you're welcome. All right, bye-bye.
bye.
Hey. Neil O'Brien. Yeah, I've got this number. I got it. So your ship, you said, is in sailing to where?
Out to sea, getting away from this hurricane that's coming across Manila in the Philippines.
Are they just gonna plan on hanging out there or what?
Yeah, you don't want to be caught
Anchored.
anchored someplace during, you want to ride out the storm. And that's what they're going to do.
Have you guys any of your cruises gone through some stormy weather?
Yeah, hurricane.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
Pretty rough?
It wasn't bad. Depends on how you set up the ship. If you set it going into the waves, you just do that. If it's sideways, you're doing this, and that's horrible. Or
Yeah.
3/4, you know. But if you set it up going into the waves, you just gradual up and down.
I was on YouTube. There's some crazy videos for just about anything, but there's some things about boater mistakes and stuff like that. But one of them, we had a 17-foot little cuddy cabin wood boat
Mm-hmm.
back in the probably late 50s. And we had a friend that had I don't know, it was 36, 40-foot Chris Craft, big. And we were over at in Michigan, and we decided to go across Lake Michigan to Chicago to go home. And instead of going around the bottom like this, we decided to go straight across. Well, it was rough. It wasn't so rough for the big ship, but it was rough for the little guy here. And out in the middle of the lake, swarm of flies.
Oh,
I mean, just flies like crazy. And we didn't have anything but hairspray. So we were trying to do something just to get them to stop. But it was an experience for sure. I had a sailboat, 23-foot, and which I sailed a lot. I sailed it by myself and
yeah.
pretty confident with it and stuff. It was a cutter rig. It was a pretty boat. And I had a friend and his girlfriend. There was a race from Waukegan to someplace over in Michigan. I don't remember where. And I said, "You want to go on that?" Okay. Well, they weren't very familiar with my boat or sailing in general.
Mm-hmm.
And we started out at night, and I had a radio and everything, and we started going, and it's probably 60 miles across at that point, maybe a little bit more. And I got out, and it got to be a little bumpy, and I decided that that we should turn around because they didn't have any experience, and I didn't want to jeopardize anybody. So we came back and just got back into Waukegan and drank beers.
There you go.
But it was fun.
I can't figure out what kind of ducks.
Have you heard anything about the rec centers at all?
No. The only thing I've seen is 2 weeks ago, they set up tables that you can't move. And I don't think anybody can go in them.
They got a table and a chair, one table and one chair.
In where?
In all the rooms.
Well, every 6-foot table has one chair. So we couldn't have a help session because you can't have 2 chairs. You can't move the tables and you can't move the chairs.
You got to be 6 foot apart when they open.
Wow, that would be a challenge.
Yeah.
That would be a challenge. I mean, I've helped a lady by just you know, trying to tell her what to do. You know, at least I could see what she could see, and that was okay. And but there's some things that it's just not going to happen. You know,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's going. I have a hunch that it's not going to be um, ready um, for June.
Yeah.
oh, I don't think it should be ready before July, myself personally. I'm seeing too many people doing too many bad things. I'm out, even outside around where they're having groups, 20, 30 people in chairs around like at Sunset Point, looking at the sunset and stuff.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate in Florida because it's a real breeding ground for us old folks because there's so many of us
Sure.
and we've been doing very, very well. And I'm just afraid they're going to open something a little bit too quick and it's going to go the other way, which it hasn't so far.
Well, and they've had some of the did I mention Mike and Terry last time?
No.
Well, Mike and Terry, we follow them a lot, and they went to RJ Gators Monday, and they were there from 6 till 9, and apparently there was a couple hundred people there, and I mean, it's mostly outside, but there's no way that anybody could keep their distance, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's you know, who do you blame? Is it RJ Gators? Is it the music people? Is it the people themselves? I mean, it's kind of a combination of everything. Everybody's got to not want to do all this, and everybody's anxious to get out. But you know, if you go out too early, it may be one of the last times you go out. You know.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. This is you just got to stay safe. You know, it's
You do. I mean, we're going out for a while, but we're going out around sunset just before and just going outside to different places.
yeah. We have. I went to the thrift store on the last 2 Wednesdays, but I'm covered up, washing my hands, pearling my hands, no contact with people and stuff other than I take the money and then I'm just initially, you know, pro. We've had there hasn't been a lot of traffic, so I mean that's one thing. But everybody that comes in, we ask them if they feel okay, and we probably should have a gun to take their temperature.
Yeah. But that's sort of after the fact.
I agree. You're
That-
yeah. If you got a temperature,
You got a temperature
you had the problem before.
at least 5 days, at least.
Yep.
We were doing temps on the ship for new people coming on, but it was sort of, all the medical people said this is sort of, it stopped anybody from coming on the ship that had a temperature, which was good. But people that didn't have a temperature could have come on and still had the virus,
Mhm.
which they didn't. But
Maureen, one of Maureen's friend's husband, I think, passed away because of this. But it was, he had medical problems to start with, serious medical problems. My
Yeah.
cousin, she passed away right when this first started. And there were no cases up, she was up in Pensacola. There were no cases up there at the time.
Mhm.
We don't think it was related. She was, but it's taken forever to get the autopsy result.
Yeah.
But she was only 40, I'm sorry, she was 50 something,
Yeah,
still too young, way too young.
yeah, sure. How to make square videos with a Mac. MacMost just dropped another video.
He dropped another,
Well, he put one online.
for what's that?
MacMost just how to make square videos with a Mac. I don't know why you want square videos. Maybe for Instagram, I don't know.
It's, I hate it when people take their videos like this instead of like this.
Yeah,
And I don't know what they're thinking. They, that they're taller this way. They're actually the same,
yeah,
just that we can see everything.
I know.
But try to explain that to smart people. Sometimes it doesn't work. Have you made reservations for another trip?
We have two on the books, but two, three, four,
Well,
couple,
three, and then the big one.
two big ones. Yeah,
My
but I
friend,
don't know if they're even going to run.
hey Phil,
Froze.
Oh, he's connecting to audio. There he goes. No.
connected to
There it is.
Hey,
Morning.
Phil.
You
You
got my Zoom meeting fraternity background here.
I see that.
That was for our happy hour,
I see that.
or our virtual happy hour.
Cool. It works for me. Did I show this last time?
Ah, yeah, 8 a.m. to 7 a.m. That works. Hmm. So have you been going since 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
We had 2 customers and we've hit it out of the ballpark with both of them.
Oh, good.
Carol, who's on, she's out doing something.
hiatus.
She put something out on the Google group for the club here. You may have seen that also. I don't know.
Yeah. I saw it.
But Phil's the only non-resident on the Google group for the computer
It's a
club.
good reference for me.
He's still there? They haven't kicked him out yet?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's nice.
I think I changed your ad. I think I put you at my address in the account.
And I have an insider connection.
Here comes Mary Ann back. Let's see what's going on.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Mary Ann.
She's working.
Hi, do you have anybody else on there?
No,
What's going on?
On that carbon copy cleaner, I was just looking it up. If your computer dies, you're still able to get your information.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yeah, what it does, it makes a clone, it makes an exact copy of your computer onto an external. So if you do have a failure on the internal, you can boot from the internal. But it's like fish. The older it gets, it starts stinking. Okay, so you gotta do it every day.
Okay, all right. I
And
see.
They
I
do
see.
make a script to where you can do it every day.
Okay, I see it's $40. Am I looking at the correct thing?
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah,
Okay, well, that's great.
I have, and I forget how much it costs because I've owned it for such a long time. But anytime that I have somebody's computer here, I regularly install it. And they've got like a 15-day trial or 30-day trial. I use that to do here we've got another one. I use it to make the backup on their computer, and then it's just there. It doesn't bother them in the future, so they can, if they want to use it, they can.
Okay, great. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye now.
Hi.
Hello. Is it Joy? How do you say that, Joyce?
Jocelyn.
George, what they did.
Jocelyn Dunstan.
Yes.
Yes. You have a question?
Well, I'm not showing my face out right now because I forgot all about this meeting being wrapped up in other stuff that was going on this morning.
Okay.
Yes, the issue that I have, and this may be bigger than anybody can address, but at least it might get me pointed in the right direction. I have about a 2012 MacBook Pro that I just cannot part with.
Okay.
And it has multiple problems, and it's been to the doctor a few times and come back and so forth. I did have it. I had a new solid state drive put in it maybe 6 months ago. And after that, I developed a real problem with the battery. I replaced the battery. Then I took it someplace else. You know, it's been one of these things where now I can't use it without having it plugged in all the time. If you were going to troubleshoot this problem, again, because I just hate to let it go. I think it's just a great little machine sitting right over there. But
That's what I use.
Is that what you have? Yeah.
It's sitting right next door to this one that I'm working.
Me too. I have one I'm talking to you on, and then one that's just sitting over there. And I think it's so much more substantial and everything than this one. But do I start again with the battery, do I, you know, I even thought maybe it was something to do with the drive loaded up. The last group that worked on it sent it back to me and said, there's something wrong with the computer. We can't tell you what it is, and you're going to have to figure it out. So that
They
was the
said
end of that.
They said that?
Yeah. That we put all of our people on it. We haven't been able to figure it out. We've done everything we can for your child, so just take it home. So I did.
Well, the first thing I would do is plug it in, turn it on, and go up to the Apple menu and select About This Mac. And then when you get to that window, there's a system report.
Right.
And you click on that and then click on power. And you should see the status of the battery. It may say service battery, it may say normal. And they don't always, as I'm looking at mine says to service the battery. And I have just under 600 cycles on it. It is, it may not be the longest lasting battery, but it does last because that's the one I normally take to the meeting, and it will usually, you know, not die out by the end of the meeting. But that's the first place I would look.
Okay. You know, and I have done that, but I forget right now. I'm just, so I won't go into that, but I think it may be just, I mean, for one thing, I don't think the battery is what it should have been in the first place. You know, I bought a replacement battery and it probably wasn't the best.
Is it a 13 or 15 inch?
13.
Let me look. Do you know where the people got your battery from?
Not without doing some research. I may have bought it online is what I'm thinking, instead of having, that's possible.
Does iFixit sound familiar?
Oh, that was the last group that I took it to. You Break, I Fix.
No, that's a different place.
Oh, iFixit?
And
Oh, you mean online?
Online, ifixit.com.
I have seen them just recently within the last 2 weeks that I looked there, but no, I don't remember right off where I got that battery or if I had someone put it in, you know, at a shop. But for a long time, it would not start after that. The other thing was we had some damage done to the power cord, and I ordered a replacement cord, and I've never been able to use it with this because that was one of the problems I had with it not starting after that at all. But it appears that it cannot charge that battery.
Well, and how long ago did they put that battery in?
I'm thinking it's been at least a year, and it's been sitting on the shelf most of the time, so it hasn't been started out much.
What I would do is first to try to make sure, well, it's not charging, right?
That's what I understand. It's showing 0% all the time.
There is, Phil, do you remember we had to add some kind of a little battery module or power module to one of the computers one time?
I replaced the battery on this 2011 when I took it into the Apple store, and they replaced it. But I don't remember a battery monitor.
Not a monitor, it's like a
strip, a little cable.
The cable or the receptacle on the computer going to the charging circuitry.
Oh.
Well, what I would do is to, you know, use a known good charger to make sure that it works. And I've seen my wife's daughter had, there was actually, because they're magnetic, the MagSafe connectors,
Mhm.
there was actually a screw or some kind of piece of metal that was stuck inside there.
Oh,
He didn't realize it, and I saw it right away and pulled it out, and her computer was just fine.
I'll
But-
check that first.
Make sure that that's clean, you know, where the magnetic connector is, make sure it's clean.
Mhm.
And the light should come on amber when it's charging, and it should be green when it's full. If it comes on green and never goes to amber, there's I'm pretty sure that there's a fairly small circuit that can be replaced, and it might actually be the receptacle to that the power. I'm just trying to remember.
You know, that's a good point. I just looked over at it. It was sitting there green now, but when I touched it, it went blank.
Well, I mean, if it's just a little bit and it's going and it's the light goes out, I mean, it should be, the magnet should, I'm wiggling mine quite a bit here up and down, maybe 15 degrees, and it's staying lit. I have to go quite a ways to get it to disconnect, but let me look in.
Well, I just found that when I got online with the group in Zoom the last time, I learned so much so fast that, you know, things that really helped. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this with this old one because I wasn't even sure where to start. You know, I don't really want to give it up.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's my favorite computer.
Yeah.
Let me see if I'm looking through some of my orders here. Replacement battery. That's what
But should I try another battery first off or another
I would
plug-in
I would just trying, if you know somebody else that has a charger, is to try a charger. I can loan you one if you want. You can pick it up at the house here if you want.
Well, the cord that went to this one got accidentally chewed up by my RoboVac. And after that, things kind of went downhill from there. But after I taped it up, it still worked better than the new one that I bought. So anyway.
Really? Did you bought a new one? Did you get I don't know what the same amperage, 45 watt or?
Oh, my ignorance is just astounding. I couldn't tell you, but it's not the full length of the one that I had, and it's not just a difference of length. It's like it only plugs into the wall. It doesn't have the middle box, I think was the deal with it. That doesn't make sense, but it seems like that. Oh no, I know that with the new one, I couldn't get it to continue working. I couldn't get it to turn on, and I would have to every time go through the little keystrokes and all. And it's been so long since I was doing that, probably a year ago. So it's had
well
longer than that. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time this morning, but you've given me some good directions to go in.
Yeah, I would first look to see if it's what it says about the battery condition.
Right.
And also inspect the side to make sure there's nothing in the connector. And then there's a couple of things you can try. The probably won't help, but the first thing I would, besides looking to see what the battery condition is, I would make sure that you have, you try another charger.
By charger, you mean the electrical cord that plugs it in and actually does enable it to charge up,
Correct.
that thing. Okay.
You've
Hmm.
got two of them now. You bought a second one?
Well, yes, I have a newer one that's not exactly like the old one, and it doesn't have, it's not just that it doesn't have as much length. Let me look at it for a sec. Can you wait a sec?
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else got any clues?
I have two chargers for that MacBook Air that I got from Kimmy.
Yeah.
And one of them developed an erratic connection.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it under a loop, a couple of the pins looked like they were charred. And I tried cleaning it with a brush and things. I couldn't really get it.
Sorry, I think I have moved it out most recently, and now I don't know exactly where I left it. It was in the same spot for so long, but I must have been messing around with both of those lately. So.
Look to see what Phil was just suggesting, to look at the connections, both on the computer and the cable, and maybe clean them with what would you clean them with? Cotton swab and some alcohol or something to get the
Oh,
gook.
okay.
And if you see any corrosion, maybe try to scrape some, with a fingernail
Right.
or something.
I didn't think of that.
Because I mean, you could be making a bad connection, but my guess is that it's either going to be the battery or the circuitry between the battery and that plug.
Okay. And if it's the battery, what's the best source to get another battery? In your opinion?
I have been using iFixit.com.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And it's $100 for your battery. And it's pretty simple to put in, as if you have a tiny Phillips screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, and on their site, they have good videos. I don't know if you're up to that challenge, but.
Yeah, I think what I did before was just bought the battery and changed it out, but I could be wrong.
It's very easy. The newer ones are glued in, so they're more of a pain. But that one's screwed in, so I mean, it's very easy to change.
All right. I'll start off with that, and I'll kind of renew my interest in this. I had not had really time to look at it in a little while, and it's been sitting over here just running videos for me, and DVDs and things like that, because I don't have anything else that's got that capability. So I like to use those. Okay, thank you. I think that'll hold me for now. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I couldn't show you my face, but it would be hard.
That's okay.
Hard on you. So.
We had a makeup crew here, so maybe.
I know. And that's what I did last time, believe it or not, but not today. All right, thanks. I'll sign off, or not sign off, but go back into my box.
One of the interesting things about all these Zoom meeting replacements for television shows is evidently how much makeup and hair work goes into the people on their regular shows, because when they show up from home, they don't look like the same people half the time.
Yeah, kind of funny.
Yep.
Yeah, so I had to buy that part someplace. Good. There it is.
Yeah, she does.
Carol's back.
Because she hurt somebody.
Oh, I remember. This was on a Retina 2013 to 2014. The cable that it's called the DC in power board. And apparently they fail because it's kind of like a flat ribbon. And even though they're not moving, they just fail. And that was a common thing for those years of 13 to 15. Replacement MagSafe. So there is a you can buy the MagSafe connector that's on the computer, and then its little pigtail. Those are like 15, 16 bucks. Probably takes a while to put that in. It's right at the bottom, underneath everything. Well, we didn't fix that one, but we got her pointed in the right direction. How are you doing up there, Phil? Any snow?
We had snow flurries earlier this week, actually. We haven't had any on the ground. We had on the ground, what, 2 weeks ago, something? It was all gone by the early afternoon, but
Phil's
now-
outside of Chicago and Carol's in Ohio.
right now I have a 1 acre pond in the back with a couple of ducks, and it just showed up last night. We had quite a bit of rain last night.
Really?
Yeah. I did not look at the rain gauge this morning to see how much it was.
Were you, Carol? Were you at the Zoom meeting for the Apple Club?
The SIG, yeah, I was.
No, didn't they? They had a invitation only thing for 100 people that 50 showed
Yeah,
up.
I was on that one.
Okay. Was that just a presentation of some sort?
Let me think a second. That one was about using Zoom, I think.
Okay.
And it was fine because we're all getting acquainted with this technology. And Bruce Mitchell had an actual presentation, so he shared screen and showed us things. And there's another one coming, like a test. Do we know how to do this? Because the schedule at that club is changing from Tuesday afternoon general meetings to SIGs. So we're testing the SIG concept.
Do you mean breakup?
Well, special interest group, small topic, presumably small group, and probably usually a little bit more advanced, because we're always at attention in that group about keep it basic, you know, get it good for new users versus, hey, there's a lot of people that want to do more or less what we're doing here, which is a little bit higher level focus.
Are they going to have multiple things going on in the same room?
Not yet. You know, Zoom has breakout rooms.
Oh, it's a Zoom big. Oh, okay. I was thinking of the room, the physical room.
Well, that's the thing. Physically, that wasn't the plan, but it will adjust to who shows up and what they want to do, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that change was occurring even as coronavirus dawned, so the plan hadn't gone very far. It was supposed to be normal through April and then begin the SIG stuff.
Yeah.
We had a Zoom meeting earlier this week with Mary's alternative doctor, who was presenting a program about a German device or something. And they gave a presentation where the guy shared his screen like you're talking about, Carol. And there's a button down here on Zoom that says record. And so I hit record, and up in the upper left-hand corner, it said it was recording, and it was flashing the whole time. But when it was all over, I couldn't find the recording. I didn't do it on this computer. I did it on the 17-inch laptop that Mary's using. And I couldn't find the recording. And they say to look in your account, which I did on this computer, because I don't know whether I even created an account, but I would assume it shows up on the other computer if you sign in. But I still couldn't find the video.
By account, do you mean iCloud Drive?
No, I mean Zoom account.
I think it might be in your iCloud Drive. When I was looking for that, and I've never recorded one yet, I had a choice of where to send my recording.
Well, I'm just looking here. It said either to your computer or to the cloud, to Zoom's cloud. And I just started it recording now, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. It may, I mean, if it went into my documents, let me see. Oh,
I saved a chat from one, and I think it went to Zoom's cloud. You know,
Zoom.
sometimes in the chat you see links and so on, and it's worth saving the chat.
So I'm gonna stop it here. See where this recording will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. So I can't tell you until we're done. There's got to be an easier way.
I got tired of my virtual background.
Huh?
Oh, you got rid of your glasses, yes.
No, I got rid of my virtual background, but the glasses, because what it was doing was it would cut out the white stripe on the shoulder, right? And so, and sometimes if I noticed when I turned sideways, it was cutting off my nose, which might be a good thing. I don't know.
I'm looking at my Zoom app preferences, and there's a recording element within the preferences, and it says local recording, store my recordings at. So if you use the computer you were on, Phil, and look at this preference,
Oh yeah.
you may see where it went.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that on the other computer, because that was the computer we used, and I told it to save it to the computer, not to the cloud, when it asked the question when I set it up.
Mine's showing that it's in a documents. There's a Zoom folder in my documents folder,
That's what mine is. It must be the default.
which is would be on my iCloud, because I'm saving to iCloud. So let's see.
No, I
There's
haven't been using with iCloud, so.
no, well, okay, well, it doesn't matter. You're just going to Zoom. And
I'm gonna,
to-
I was thinking I would share my screen, but this is in the way. Let's see here. Share screen. There. Can you see that? My
Yeah.
settings.
Yep.
So it's stored at, but then below that is choose a location after the meeting ends. And so between those, it should be still set to where you sent it. But then below that, it says cloud recording manage on web. So I'm sure it depends on what your settings were at the time.
Yeah, I have to go look in the other computer. It's in the other end of the house.
Yeah, figures, doesn't it?
Well, actually, I think I can bring the computer up on this. This will make 4 computers connected in here. There we go. see.
Holy cow. We are getting dumped on with rain all of a sudden. And I know I just saw a neighbor walk by with a dog heading away from her home.
Uh-oh.
So she's in trouble.
That's the rainstorm that went through here last night. I looked at it on the radar this morning. If you're in Ohio, it's a biggie.
Yeah.
Okay, recording. It
Ooh,
gives
big
me a
wind.
location. Users.marybeard.documents.zoom. Let's see if. Documents. Well, it gives me a folder in her documents folder, a Zoom folder in her documents folder, but there's nothing in it.
Oh, that wasn't nice.
It's an empty folder. So, but that's closer than I got last time.
Maybe she had it set for cloud recording and you'll actually still be able to find it. Who knows?
Oh, she would, no. She wouldn't. Let's see. Let's see. Got plenty of room, and it doesn't say choose a location. Was I supposed to choose a location at the time I was recording, I wonder?
I guess that was the default location initially.
No, I didn't choose. He didn't ask me where. And there is a Zoom folder in her users folder, documents folder, but there's nothing in it. So I don't know what it did with it.
Did you have any opportunity to say, I'm done, close this file, save this file?
No, it didn't do any of that kind of stuff. We just signed off from Zoom at the end of the meeting.
It's kind of cool. Well, I hate to say good about the virus, but we're all stuck having to learn these new tools at the same time. You know how somebody you know is all excited about a new thing and they want to test it with you, but it's hard for them to get a group of 3 or 5 so they can do all the things.
Yeah.
We're all available.
Yeah. Yep. It is crazy for sure. Some people don't get it either, but and it's just, you know, it's beyond them, some people.
Yeah. I
And
always say I have some sort of a machine brain. I don't know why I get these things and even enjoy them, but most of my family doesn't. So I help them.
Well, I'm going to sign off.
okay, so
Go back to my tractor repair. Hope the parts come in this afternoon.
what are you doing? What do you got to fix it?
What I was fixing was the rubber bushings on the electric clutch coupling for the power takeoff. And I replaced those. And in the process, I noticed that my fuel filter was leaking, and which may be what's causing the rubber to deteriorate on the
Sure.
couplings. And the fuel filter was a replacement last year, but it's got a 30-year-old little water
Separator?
separator on the bottom, and the check valve on the bottom of the thing was leaking. And so I was trying to find another one, and I found a replacement that integrates the water separator with the fuel filter. And I want to get it this afternoon because I want to get the tractor out of the garage because it's taking up my parking space for the car.
The gas or diesel?
Diesel,
Diesel.
22 horsepower, 6-foot deck, which I have to mow around the pond now. So I will see you all later. It's good to see you all again.
I'll see you Monday night.
Yeah,
Bye, Phil.
I got to put out a notice. I had a reminder, a meeting reminder on my phone that came up this week, and it was for the library. And of course, the library is closed. But I realized that, oh, that was only the second Monday because there's a conflict this Monday.
Right,
And so we'll still have the virtual meeting on schedule.
right, yeah.
So,
I noticed that too. I can't, because I came down here, Uncle, I screwed up here. I
Yeah.
actually put the date on the website and stuff correctly for last Monday, and then I'm going, wait a minute.
well, I was supposed to sign into a University of Chicago meeting that happened to be at the same time.
Ah,
And I thought I had a reminder on my phone for that meeting. And so when the alarm went off, the alert went off for the meeting reminder, I ignored it because I thought it was for the University of Chicago meeting. And a few minutes later, I looked at the thing and it said, oh, it's Apple User Group meeting. And I thought, oh, crap. Now I got two meetings at the same time. But I realized that was for the library and didn't have to do it. So I'll see you Monday.
okay, take care.
No problems. Bye.
Bye, all.
Bye-bye.
And I am going to leave as well. Russell and I have a date with some young nephews for lunch, and that's a super pleasure. So sorry to miss the last bit here, but nice being with you this morning.
All right.
Good to see you. I think we're going to end it here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well.
All right, so take care and wash your hands and all that.
Okay. You too.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Get your luggage.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
right.